The real work for us begins now on how do we educate, how do we provide education for our member schools, how do we provide education for our student athletes and their families.
Name, image, and likeness is officially allowed in the state of Ohio for high school athletes.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association announced the results this morning of last week's emergency vote. A majority of member schools voted to allow those NIL deals.
10 TV's Colin Dorsey has been following the progression of this for months now and joins us in studio with what this means. Colin?
Yeah, what it means is that students can sign the deals, but they must follow the bylaws written by and approved by the OHSAA. This move now puts Ohio alongside nearly every other state, allowing high school athletes to do this.
At some point, it's going to be here. Whether you want it here or not, you got to realize it's a different world.
That different world now includes high school athletes being paid for their name, image, and likeness, something unheard of just 3 years ago when this same issue failed to pass.
But I watched that 6 states at the time had it, and I watched that continue to grow across the country. And now I believe we're the 45th state that has it, just in that short period of time.
I sat down with the OHSAA Executive Director Doug Ute to talk about this change. He says it's taken a lot of meetings and a lot of calls with other states to learn what works and what doesn't.
The real work for us begins now on how do we educate, how do we provide education for our member schools, how do we provide education for our student athletes and their families.
This vote was forced by a lawsuit brought by the family of Jameer Brown, a Huber Heights football player. The family argued he missed out on more than $100,000 in NIL deals. I talked with the family's attorney after the vote results.
Jameer wanted this opportunity not just for himself. He really wanted to fight for high school student athletes across the state, and they did that. And he won.
Attorney Luke Fedlam says it was always an issue of fairness, where non-athlete students were able to profit off their abilities, but athletes were bound by association rules.
And really, if we think about it at the high school level, NIL, the right is there to earn compensation.
And for the OHSAA, it's now time to push forward into this new frontier for Ohio high school athletics.
What excites you or concerns you about this?
Well, I'm always concerned about money when you talk about high school athletics. And we want to protect the amateurism of a high school athlete. I'm really not concerned a whole lot about that. As long as everybody follows our bylaws, everything will be fine.
Now, both sides of this made it very clear that high school NIL is different than college NIL rules, which in Ohio are also fairly new. High school NIL deals aren't really that common. Also, the bylaws allowing this are pretty restrictive on how a student can benefit from an NIL deal. For example, it has to be separate from the game or team activity. As for the lawsuit, Fedlam says the paperwork is being filed to have that dropped.